Bugs crashing your pack's party? Whether they've got paws or sneakers, your pack deserves a home that's protected from pests. That's where Wondercide comes in. Plant-powered protection made with steam-distilled natural essential oils that actually work. It kills and repels fleas, ticks, mosquitoes, and ants without questionable ingredients or overpowering smells. Safe to use around kids and pets when used as directed. Lab-proven to work fast. And proudly made in the USA. We offer sprays for pets, people, homes, and yards. Plus, spot-on treatments, collars, and even shampoos. Whatever your pack needs, we've got it covered. Founded by a pet parent looking for a better way to protect her dog Luna, Wondercide's now protected over 21 million lives and counting. You might have even seen us on Shark Tank. Go to Wondercide.com and use code WONDER20 for 20% off your first order. That's WONDER20 at Wondercide.com. Wondercide. Protect your pack with plant-powered Wondercide today.
Your kids could get free or low-cost health coverage from Medicaid or CHIP. Even if you've applied before, they may be eligible now. Kids up to age 19 are covered for checkups, vaccines, dentist visits, hospital care, and more. And if they already have Medicaid or CHIP, remember to renew every year. Visit insurekidsnow.gov or call 877-KIDS-NOW. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Welcome to the Kulturecast. I'm Chris Stachiw, and I am joined by my good friend. He is a podcaster in his own right. He hosted the Projection Booth podcast, my good friend, Mr. Mike White.
Surf's up, baby.
Yeah, surf's up, dudes. Later, evil usses. Oh, that's not what we're talking about tonight. No, we're talking about Teen Beach Movie from 2013. This is the first podcast of Disney Channel Original Movies Month. Mike, before we talk about this movie, before we even get into Teen Beach Movie, I wanted to ask you, first time ever watching a Disney Channel original movie?
Did they do High School Musical?
They sure did.
I think I might have seen that. Otherwise, I didn't know that these things existed.
What, Teen Beach Movie or Disney Channel original movies?
Disney Channel original movies.
You've heard of Halloween Town, yeah?
Mm-mm.
Wow. I mean, you're older than me, so I guess that makes sense. I mean, it is kind of like a millennials thing, almost. That and, like, Xenon and some of the other... Like, some of the earlier Disney Channel original movies hit at, like, the right moment for someone my age, but I can't fault you for never seeing any of them, because I think when Halloween Town came out, that was, like, 1997 or 8, so...
Yeah, I was already, like, getting my first divorce by that time.
So you were an adult doing adult things.
As much as I could.
As much as I love Halloween Town, you weren't watching Halloween Town. You were being an adult.
I mean, they're still doing them, I think, right? Because, like, I know my granddaughter was talking about the Descendants. Is that another one?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, they're still making them. They have one coming out next month. That's a sequel, and then they have another one coming out in July. And Descendants, yeah, I believe Descendants is a Disney Channel original movie about, oddly enough, the descendants of, like, Disney villains and heroes.
Right. Yeah, she went as, like, Maleficent's daughter for Halloween, and that's kind of how I found out about this stuff.
And honestly, like, that concept sounds kind of cool. Just like on the face of it. I mean, I don't know in execution, obviously. I've never seen it. But, I mean, it sounds like an interesting concept. Speaking of interesting concepts, let's talk about the movie we're actually here to talk about, Teen Beach Movie.
Mackenzie was having the best summer ever.
Can you believe they're talking about 40-foot waves?
Summer's not over yet! West Side Story!
How can you two like this silliness?
Best movie ever made. It's always summer and everyone just sings and surfs.
Surprise. We're leaving tomorrow.
Mack, what does she mean by leaving tomorrow?
After we lost my mom, the deal I made with my aunt was when it was time to get serious, I would leave to go to college.
But one last wave will take them to a place they never expected.
We're in the movie. My movie, West Side Story.
What do we do?
Have fun. Wow.
We're stuck in another dimension, and your idea of a good use of time is to party?
Bikers, surfers, the rivaling gangs. Stand back.
Big Mama's is a perfect hangout. We want it all to ourselves.
That might not probably happen.
Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me.
What?
My entire future depends on us getting out of here.
When will we get another chance to be in a movie?
Now,
Something's not right.
they're changing the movie.
Layla and Tanner were supposed to fall into each other's arms.
But instead they fell into our arms, and now they're into us. We changed the movie.
We changed the movie.
And if they don't change it back, it may change them.
What are we gonna do?
You're singing.
I'm singing.
Stop!
I can't stop.
What does that mean?
We're morphing into the movie.
And they'll never get home.
It's your hurry to grow up and leave.
Every minute that I'm here, I'm not doing what my mom wanted.
Ross Lynch and introducing Maia Mitchell. The Disney Channel original movie, Teen Beach Movie. California! Premieres Friday, July 19th at 8, 7 Central on Disney Channel.
So the film is directed by Jeff Hornaday. It stars Ross Lynch, Maia Mitchell. Hey, you know Barry Bostwick's in this movie?
He sure is.
Boy, for like a minute. And the film centers around Brady and Mackenzie, who are two friends who end up getting stuck in a teen beach movie called Wet Side Story. One of the greatest non-porno names of a parody film I have ever heard. I mean, it sounds like a goddamn porno parody of West Side Story. Oh my God, Wet Side Story. On top of everything else, it just sounds disgusting. But that all out of the way, Mr. White, I know that this was your first time watching this Disney Channel original movie. What did you think?
Well, I have to say that I'm a fan of the beach movies.
Sure.
I watched a lot of the Frankie and Annette stuff, and oh gosh, I can't remember the guy's name, Tommy something or other. And I went through a period, wow, actually it might have been back in 97, 98. At some point I was like, I'm going to watch all of these beach movies. How to Stuff a Wild Bikini, Muscle Beach Party, Beach Blanket Bingo, Bikini Beach, all of these kind of things. And I have to say they all run together in my head, so I can't remember which one was like the bikers versus the surfers. I think maybe Beach Blanket Bingo, like with Eric Von Zipper and all this kind of stuff. But I liked that I knew what they were parodying, so that made it a little bit easier to stomach this. It was kind of saccharine in parts, but I kind of like this whole idea of characters being stuck in a movie. I think overall, I actually kind of liked it.
Look at you. I was worried. I mean, look, like you just said, like this movie obviously is coming from and is made by a company that I would say traffics in the saccharine and the maudlin, right? I mean, Disney Channel, stuff like that, you know, and most of the time it is exactly that, both saccharine and maudlin. It's just there to pull at your heartstrings, and it doesn't actually give you anything to chew on. And while, like you said, I would completely agree that this film does traffic in that to some extent. You have a character whose essentially entire dialogue for the film, you know, it would seem is talking about how she doesn't want to upset the people that she loves and how she wants to do the right thing. And like, that's very Disney, you know, find your own way. And, you know, that character, the character of Mackenzie, played by Maia Mitchell, when she's doing that bit of her character, I kind of don't get it. But because at the same time, she's literally telling the other female characters in the film, you can do whatever the hell you want. You're a woman, a strong woman, and you don't have to have a man tell you what to do. So it was a little weird, but at the same time, like you said, I kind of liked it. It's a lot of fun. It's if anything, its heart is completely in the right place. The people, you know, Vince Marcello, Mark Landry, and Robert Horn, who wrote the script for the film, they clearly love these teen beach movies. The not this one specifically, but the genre that it's influenced by. And like you said, there's a lot of love letters to that. There's a lot of winks and nods. What's weird, as far as I'm concerned, that to me doesn't scream Disney Channel original movie, right?
I guess.
like who in the age range of people watching Disney Channel is going to have any frame of reference for teen beach surfer movies?
I mean, I know that surfing movies, and especially like inspirational ones, like it's like every year for a while there, we were getting like 2 at least major releases of things, like to the point where I couldn't even keep them straight. And I would always be like, okay, is this the one where the shark attacks the girl? Is this like the Jesus-y shark or surfing movie, or what is this one? Of course, the infamous surfer confronts fear, an incredible film. But yeah, I don't necessarily, I mean, I know that there's a market for it. I don't know if the market is teens, but I do have to say it was one of the weirdest complaints, ? That I had about the movie was that all of the kids were kids. And that was always one of the strange things about the beach movies with Frankie and Annette, was that you had like 30-year-olds in these movies, like, Timothy Carey showing up as like the villain in one of the films. And I'm just like, dude, you got to be at least 40 years old in this movie. What is happening here? So it was weird that they were all actual teenagers. And to that point, I had a hard time keeping track of them sometimes. Like, other than our 2 main leads, I was like, unless they were wearing a leather jacket, I wasn't sure if a person was a biker or a surfer.
That's fair. I will say the character of Tanner Payton.
If you've been thinking about getting serious with your money, like actually serious, now's the time. The Motley Fool is offering new members 50% off their iconic stock recommendation service, Stock Advisor. This is the same service that's crushed the market with recommendations that have returned 1,057% since inception, compared to the S&P 500's 180% over that same period. This isn't guesswork. The Motley Fool has a track record of finding companies before they become household names. So if you want to invest smarter and you like saving money while doing it, go to fool.com/listen to claim your 50% off discount off a 1-year term of Stock Advisor. Again, that's fool.com/listen. Returns of 1,057% are from the Motley Fool's product Stock Advisor and measured against S&P 500 returns of 180% as of July 10th, 2025. Past performance is not an indicator of future results. All investing involves a risk of loss. Individual investment results may vary.
Bugs crashing your pack's party? Whether they've got paws or sneakers, your pack deserves a home that's protected from pests. That's where Wondercide comes in. Plant-powered protection made with steam-distilled natural essential oils that actually work. It kills and repels fleas, ticks, mosquitoes, and ants without questionable ingredients or overpowering smells. Safe to use around kids and pets when used as directed. Lab-proven to work fast. And proudly made in the USA. We offer sprays for pets, people, homes, and yards. Plus, spot-on treatments, collars, and even shampoos. Whatever your pack needs, we've got it covered. Founded by a pet parent looking for a better way to protect her dog Luna, Wondercide's now protected over 21 million lives and counting. You might have even seen us on Shark Tank. Go to Wondercide.com and use code WONDER20 for 20% off your first order. That's WONDER20 at Wondercide.com. Wondercide. Protect your pack with plant-powered Wondercide today.
Played by Garrett Clayton is, I think, my favorite character in the movie because he never gives up the fact that he's in the Teen Beach movie. And the things that he says are pretty funny. I forget what the line that Maia Mitchell says. It's like, you're a pretty smart guy. And he's like, yeah, well, I am pretty. And it's like, oh, Jesus, dude. Like, you moron. You complete and utter idiot. But, like, at the same time, he's not being stupid in a way that you're like, I want this character to go away. It's like endearingly stupid. And again, having watched some of these movies, not all of them, obviously, I haven't watched every single beach movie that exists, but having seen enough to know what this is referencing, that's not too far off of the path of where these movies were drawing inspiration from. And that's fun. I mean, that's a fun way of approaching this film. The thing that I wish had been there more, and I know that this is a complaint because it's a Disney Channel movie, is they didn't allow them to give it a little snark. A little more snark, and that is because it's a Disney Channel movie. I mean, Maia Mitchell's character isn't given an opportunity to really poke fun at the situation. She kind of does. But, I mean, if this movie had not been Disney Channel, if this had been PG-13 or even R, I think it would have been a much more interesting film because it would have allowed the writers to really, I don't know, I mean, I guess do something a little bit more than what they did here, which is kind of sticking to safe, inoffensive humor, which, again, Disney Channel movie, so I don't expect anything less.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was pretty much, they could have made this a cartoon and it wouldn't have been too much different.
No, and that's kind of that line that they're treading, right? It's this, like, is this something we really want to make fun of, or are we just going to play into the fact that everyone is cartoony and over the top and completely, I mean, that's the thing about every character aside from the two main ones, is they're completely unself-aware. They have no self-awareness. And that is fun. That could have been mined more than it was. It's unfortunate that it wasn't. But yeah, I mean, you know, it is practically a live action cartoon in so many ways. I will say though, the music, a film like this lives and dies by its music. Music wasn't terrible. Actually, pretty fun.
Yeah, I especially like the song when they started to get forced into the movie, when our two main characters suddenly start to lose all self-control.
Can't stop singing.
Yeah, I like that song, and I like that, especially the choreography I thought was really good. And then when they brought in like the fake backgrounds, and that was really nice.
Yeah, it's you know, it's kind of going back to where it's drawing inspiration from. But yeah, I think for me, that's the standout song. I know if you're one of our younger listeners and you're on TikTok, that song kind of got rediscovered by a lot of folks that had never heard it before because it was a very popular TikTok meme that they were using for a long time. So I actually heard it there first, but getting to hear it in the context of the film, it's such a fun, poppy, weird song because again, it's about two characters who know where they are and can't do anything about it, and they're accidentally, unknowingly giving into the source material. You know, they can't stop singing. She's covering her mouth, but she's still going. You know, they can't get wet anymore when they jump into the water, which is the funniest goddamn thing. Like, they poke fun at that immediately. And then oh my God, I can't get wet from the water anymore. It's like, oh, Jesus Christ. Come on, guys.
There was another moment where I think it was supposed to be a little self-aware, or the characters were supposed to be a little self-aware, because there's the two evil geniuses in there, Dr. Fusion, and is it Dr. Camembert? Was that the other one?
less Camembert.
And at one point they say to Dr. Fusion that he's just a movie character, and I swear he starts to look around, and he keeps, every place that he looks, the camera will cut, so it's almost like he's looking at the camera. I thought that was a nice little moment too.
Yeah, Kevin Chamberlain and Steve Valentine are actually a lot of fun as what I would say almost is like an unnecessary addition to the movie. Obviously, it does kind of go back to those ridiculous plots and villains of those beach movies, but I'm glad that they kept them in there because of that. They feel a little unnecessary. It feels like their story wraps up way too quickly. But then, yeah, at the end, you do have them being like, we're in a movie? Tell me more. And it's like, oh, here's the sequel, everybody. Spoilers, they don't come back for the sequel, which is unfortunate because that's an interesting narrative. Like, what does that story look like? They're not going to tell it, obviously, but it's an interesting idea to have these characters realizing they're in the movie and then maybe figuring out a way to get out of it. I don't know, Charles Dance in Last Action Hero style. Your favorite movie of all time?
Yeah, I really thought, like, because I didn't watch the sequel, and I like that they set it up for the sequel at the end, but I thought for sure, like, our four main characters from Wet Side Story were going to come into our real world, which is set up in the movie, and then I thought, like, we would cut to that in the sequel, it would be the same thing. They would get out, they would do their thing, introduced to the real world, and then the two, Camembert and Fusion would come out a few minutes later, unbeknownst to everybody else. So I'm glad I didn't invest the time in that. Yeah,
the second one, it's kind of strange because it's weird to me that wasn't part of the second story. So I don't know why. I mean, again, you don't set it up in the last movie and then not do anything with it because they set something else up and they did something with it, which was bringing the four main movie characters into the real world, which it works okay in the sequel, but this movie is, I think, way better than the sequel for a number of reasons, namely because this feels a little bit more interesting and unique. I mean, the movie characters being fish out of water in the real world can be interesting, but the other way around and the implications of what that means for Brady and Mackenzie in this film, I think is much more interesting, at least from a character development standpoint, given that they're the main characters. You know what the thing is? I can't get past the fact that Ross Lynch looks so much like goddamn Jeffrey Dahmer. Almost like he played Jeffrey Dahmer at one point. I don't know if you saw My Best Friend Dahmer, or yes. my Friend Dahmer, but I can't unsee him as Jeffrey Dahmer now.
I didn't make that connection, but then now that you say it, I'm just like, oh, yeah, okay, I can really see that.
Yeah, it was just funny. Every time I saw him on screen, I was like, God, this guy looks so much like Jeffrey Dahmer. Jeffrey Dahmer at the beach, Jeffrey Dahmer on a surfboard. I mean, Ross Lynch is great, though. He's actually really fun. He is the atypical character in this movie. The assumption would be that the female character would be the one who likes Wet Side Story, and I really like that that's not the case. That's actually kind of fun and kind of nice, and it's an interesting subversion of the expectations, because one would expect that Maia Mitchell's character would be more into something like Wet Side Story, just given the way these Disney Channel original movies normally play out.
Yeah, and I like that in the real world she is getting ready to leave and really has to like cut ties with him and just like, hey, I'm moving on, basically, and then once she gets this mystical surfboard, and I like how the flower on the surfboard's the same as the flower on the pendant on the one girl's neck. I was just like, oh, that's kind of a nice tie-in. But then that she's like, oh, fuck, I got to make one more run of surfing. I'm just like, yeah, this is a very independent female character, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, and I think, I mentioned Ross Lynch a little bit. Jokes aside about him looking oddly like young Jeffrey Dahmer, I think Ross Lynch and Maia Mitchell are pretty good as the leads. They do a good job of carrying the film. They're not asked to do a whole lot, but that's okay. I mean, every movie doesn't have to be High School Musical.
Well, and I'm glad that they're not like, we have to fight against being in the movie. They like pretty much just accept we're in a movie right now. Oh, don't worry, there'll be a storm that comes up at the end of this and we can get out.
Yeah.
So they have kind of a ticking clock, which is good. And then how they fuck things up almost immediately. I was like, oh, all right, this is cool. This is a good twist.
Yeah. Yeah. So the twist in question is essentially the two main characters are supposed to let the two movie main characters fall in love, and the two movie main characters end up falling in love with the two people from the real world.
Right.
And it's again, like you said, it's an interesting subversion, because I wasn't even expecting that. I didn't really know where this movie was going. Like you said, there's that ticking clock. There's that, oh, the storm is at the end. The storm is at the end. The storm is at the end. But yeah, I wasn't expecting that. And again, pleasantly surprised that they're kind of subverting pretty well-held expectations of what this kind of movie is going to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's nice that it's very Romeo and Juliet, having the surfers and the bikers, and that we're supposed to have these two star-crossed lovers fall in love with each other, and then when it doesn't happen, then we keep that rift between the two gangs, and it's like, oh, okay, that's very smart.
Yeah. Outside of Can't Stop Singing, and I know we talked about the music a little bit, any other songs in the film stand out or musical numbers stand out to you?
I thought the choreography was good. The numbers that they do inside of the bar, I thought were, hangout, I should say.
Yeah.
They serve alcohol.
Don't say bar. They did a real good job of never mentioning.
Hello, this is Aaron West. I am the author of the A24 New Wave. In this book, I look at A24's output, and I make the argument that we are in a new wave movement right now. A24 plays a major role. This book has a supplemental podcast where each episode is a brief conversation about an A24-related topic, whether an actor, director, or even a genre. As I continue research for the book and conduct interviews, I expect to record podcast episodes with people involved with the company. You can find the podcast at cinejourneys.com or wherever you find podcasts, and we are proud to be members of the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network.
Hello, my name is Kevin Tudor, and I'm one of the 3 hosts of Almost Major, a film podcast dissecting many major indie studios and the films they release. Every week, myself, Charlie Nash, and Bryden Doyle discuss overlooked forgotten, or bona fide classic indie films via studio-specific miniseries. We've previously covered numerous films from Artisan Entertainment, Lionsgate Films, and New Line Cinema. Titles including The Blair Witch Project, American Psycho, Dogville, But I'm a Cheerleader, Saw, Requiem for a Dream, and Ringmaster. You know, the Jerry Springer film. Anyways, we have a fun time every week, and we hope you will join us. Subscribe to Almost Major wherever you get your podcasts. Now proudly a part of the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network.
Mentioning it being a bar throughout the entire movie. It's a bar. I mean, it's a hangout.
Yeah. Is she the only African American a woman that we have in the entire thing, or there might have been a dancer in the background who was as well, I guess.
Well, there's the one of the characters is African American. One of the movie characters is he's the one who's wearing the hat.
Right.
He's not. I mean, unfortunately, he's not given anything to do, so there's not much of a character there.
Right. Yeah.
That's
which is kind of a shame.
Yeah, it's a complete shame. I mean, again, all the main characters are white. So, I mean, again, it's nice that they subverted what you expect from a male and female character in the film. That's nice. But yeah, I'm not gonna sit here and say, good job, Disney, at casting, mixed cast. Cause, for all the times that Disney has made it a point to mention that they do, I guess we as, film watchers can make a point to mention all the times that they don't. So that, there you go.
But the numbers at Big Mama's Place, I was like, okay, these are pretty good, but none of the music struck me as just like, oh yeah, this is a really fun poppy song. It was just like, these are numbers, and they're there.
I think one of the issues I had was that they weren't, for all the movie does to harken back to these teen beach films, the songs in the movie don't capture that feeling. They feel more just like generic early aughts pop punk One Direction type stuff. Even I Can't Stop Singing is not a teen beach song. These are all songs that feel much more at place in something like something you've already mentioned, High School Musical. And there's nothing wrong with that, but the issue I have is if you're going to do this kind of movie with characters in a movie that has music that is so distinctive, it's popularized by people like Elvis, you need to steer into that more. Even if the audience doesn't completely appreciate it, the people who watch this movie that have that frame of reference will appreciate it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you had like some pretty heavy-duty songwriters, if memory serves, working on those original beach movies, and there are some songs, mostly just Beach Blanket Bingo, that I remember very well. And then one of the things that they would do was like, we're going to get we'll get a band to come in and perform a song, which was also a nice thing. So I'm surprised that Disney didn't do that and like team up with, I don't know, fucking Sugar Ray or somebody and like, come on in and do this song in the middle of the movie. It's like, was that Captain Geach and the Shrimp Shack Shooters from The Wonders, like that scene.
What?
Do you remember The Wonders? The Tom Hanks movie? I think that's what it was called, right?
I've never seen it.
Really? Okay. Well, sorry. The name of the movie was That Thing You Do. The Wonders was the band inside of the movie.
You know how many times this movie's come up now in like the last 3 months? I really feel like I should watch it at some point.
I mean, it's not the best movie in the world, but it parodies a lot of these things, kind of like we're talking about. And yeah, it wasn't bad. And the song that they do, like the one song, is actually really good.
And that movie is about like a one-hit wonder band, right?
Exactly. That Thing You Do, that song, the name of the movie. Yep.
Yeah, I need to sit down and watch it. I know a guest that you recently had on your podcast, Todd in the Shadows, who has a great music YouTube channel. He talks about it on there a lot. So that's actually why I remember hearing about it, is because he mentioned it and then you mentioned it one other time, and you were the other person. You're the only person who's mentioned it, and you mentioned it another time, and I don't remember what it was in reference to.
I know. I think Morris referenced it on the Ventures episode that we just did, because we're like, hey, we're surprised that the Ventures didn't show up and do this kind of a thing.
Yeah, I really want to watch it because, again, I've heard nothing but good things, and oddly, I trust your film opinion, so Weird. Weird.
I do hate the very end of it, though. They break the fourth wall at the very last shot, and I'm just like, what the fuck are you doing? Don't do that.
Where does this stack up for you in movies about people in movies? Do you know what I mean? Because I know you're not a huge fan of Last Action Hero. I kind of already poked fun at that. But where does this kind of land in that scheme or that scope of films about characters who get transported or stuck in films?
I mean, my number one has to be the Buster Keaton film, Sherlock Jr., where he gets stuck in a movie there. I tend to think a lot of characters coming out of movies a lot of times. So like Purple Rose of Cairo, having the Jeff Daniels character come out of the movie. I find that a little bit more interesting than going into the movie for whatever reason. I'm trying to think of other films that I've seen that I like that have that premise of going inside of a movie.
Have you ever seen The Final Girls?
I have not.
It's a lot of fun. I know I'm biased because I love the horror genre, but it is a genuine love letter to people who love the genre without being like a movie we talked about last month, Freaky, where it's like, hey, every kill from every movie you like is here. It's like, get the fuck out of here. Like, if you think that's what we want as smart film goers who love the horror genre, you don't need to ape what someone else has done. Give us something interesting. And The Final Girls, I know Jess Byard loves it as much as I do. It is everything that I want from a movie like that about the horror genre. And I was hoping that this would be similar. And it kind of is, but I can't think of another movie like this where they get stuck in a musical.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then they have to play off against that kind of thing.
You know, I know like Pleasantville, I know Pleasantville's like in a TV show. So I've just, I've never seen anything where they get stuck in a musical, which I think is frankly kind of an unmined thing. Like that could be an interesting premise. I mean, someone getting stuck in something like, Cats or Phantom of the Opera or something, something like that, where it's like the character's completely out of water. And it would, I think that would be fun. Or like you said, having the character come into the real world and that being like, fish out of water can also be fun.
Yeah, and like the biggest thing I think of is like the characters that know that they are in a movie. So like, again, those fourth wall breaks where like Garth and Wayne will turn to the camera kind of thing. As far as musicals, the one thing that comes to mind as you're talking about that is those moments in Monty Python and the Holy Grail where I think it's Terry Jones as the young prince keeps starting to sing and the music will start to swell and Michael Palin will be like, stop that, and like end the musical number before it begins.
Yeah, I would say that's pretty close to this. It's again, I implore you to check out the final girls, but yeah, I would love to see someone do a less Disney-ified, more adult-oriented version of something like this, where you have characters being stuck in a musical, because I think that could be fun. But I mean, again, for a film that is made for the, what are we going to call it, 9 to 15 audience, probably 9 to 14, 13, this is a serviceable to good version of that kind of film.
It was kind of a shame, because I think there were like a few movies that had that same type of name. Like you are very specifically saying Final Girls with an S at the end, but I want to say that there were a few movies called Final Girl or The Final Girl, and I'm just like, okay, it seems like there's a lot of these out here. Like, and I want to say that they were all around the same time. Like 2015 was like the year of movies called Final Girl or The Final Girls.
Yeah, so Final Girl is a action horror movie with Abigail Breslin and Alexander Skarsgård. The Final Girls is the movie that I'm talking about with Taissa Farmiga and Malin Ackerman. So, yeah, but the same year, actually. I think within a couple months of each other, which is super weird.
Yeah.
But on also both horror genre. The big shame is The Final Girls. Check out our podcast we did on it. It's another movie similarly to this one where it ends. It has a somewhat of an open ending, and then unfortunately, it never got its sequel like this movie did. But yeah, it's, this trope of characters being stuck in movies or movie characters coming into the real world. It seems like every couple years we get one or two of these movies. And sometimes they're good, but I feel like most of the time they just don't do enough. They don't justify their existence, you know. And I mean, I get being a fan of the genre. I understand loving, you know, and being lovingly involved in kind of paying homage to something that you love, but doing it in a different way. But similarly to body swap movies, it feels like there's a lot of just like trying to convince characters that they're in a movie or trying to figure out what the constraints of the movie are. And it's like, I don't need to see this every time I watch one of these movies. And I would say that Last Action Hero might be the worst offender of them all in a lot of ways.
Hello, this is Chris Haskell from They Live by Film. For those that don't know us, Adam, Zach, and I, we built a podcast over the last 2 years that's a combination of film discussion from 3 very different perspectives, as well as industry interviews with the leaders in boutique Blu-ray and 4K community. We started with Dev Crocodile, but over time we've been lucky enough to speak with Arrow Video, Severin, Mondo Macabro, Vinegar Syndrome, Radiance, Indicator, most of the OCN partner labels. It's been a blast. You can find us wherever you podcast, and also actually recently as part of Someone's Favorite Production Podcast Network. We hope to see you online.
Kid.
I know, that kid is terrible in that movie. I don't remember what else he was in other than Prehistoria.
What's your phone number? Oh, God. See, everybody's phone number is 555.
You know what's sad about Last Action Hero? Schwarzenegger is clearly having a very good time. Iced that guy. Cone of rays. I mean, come on. You know. He kills Al Leong with an ice cream cone. Like, yeah. But yeah, then you have that kid, and he's terrible, and he drags down the movie completely into the dumps. So
I guess you should have made me watch a sequel too.
No, I'm not going to do that. I was worried that you weren't going to want to watch it to begin with. I'm not going to try to get you to watch 2 movies, let alone the fact that these movies are both almost 2 hours long.
Yeah, I was very surprised when I saw that. I thought it would be like a clean 83 minutes.
Yeah, no, it's a straight hour and 50, and the second movie is an hour and like 45 maybe. So, I mean, look, again, I think we both know why. It's because they have a 2-hour time block. So there you go. But, you know, I think for me, did it live up to the expectations? Well, I don't know what expectations I had. I had heard that song, and that's all I knew. And I think that song is almost the most tongue-in-cheek the film ever gets. And that's a little bit of a shame, because while I understand and appreciate that maybe you don't want to lean super hard into the kind of snarky comedy given the audience you're pandering to or playing to, however you want to look at it, it needed it just a little bit more, because when you have something like Can't Stop Singing, that song is so fun and infectious because not only is it a good song from a just song standpoint and being able to sing along with it, or, you know, it sticks out in clearly both of our minds, it is tongue-in-cheek, and it's poking fun at the situation. And I wish there had been more of that, because it does feel like a film made by Disney. And that's not a knock, that's just they played inside the constraints and didn't really push it too much.
Right. Well, it's like, I mean, you know, we talk about the best cartoons are the ones that have the jokes that the parents can understand, and eventually the kids will get it. And it felt like there should have been a little bit more of that.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I was asking, like, is the premise of it being set in a teen beach movie, is that what's for the adults? Because, like, I don't think so. It's odd. It's like when Mark Begley and I were talking on the last episode about 18 again, and it's like, what teenager in 1988 is going to know who fucking George Burns is? And who's going to care? Like, it's for your parents. You know, George Burns was a huge vaudeville star, obviously. And, you know, Oh God, and then whatever the sequel's called, I forget. Dear...
Oh God, Book 2.
Is that what it's called?
I'm pretty sure. Oh God, Book 2.
Oh my God. The question that Mark and I kept asking was, who is going to go watch this movie because George Burns is in it?
Right.
And this movie is the same way. It's like, who's going to watch this movie based solely off the fact that it's parodying a genre that almost has no significance in contemporary times? Like, no one is throwing together a film like Beach Blanket Bingo. They're just not doing it anymore.
Right. Yeah. The last one that I can... Well, there was Psycho Beach Party, and there was Back to the Beach. And that's about all I can remember.
Yeah, and, it's just a little strange to me, I guess. I understand it. I'm glad that they have a dedication to Annette Funicello at the beginning of the film. That's very nice as well. They clearly love the genre that they're paying homage to. It's kind of a shame that it's on the Disney Channel, because even films like Halloween Town and Xenon Girl of the 21st Century, those movies push the envelope more than this one does. And those movies came out almost 20 years before this one did. So it's a shame. So what would you give the film out of 5?
I'd probably give it, like a 3 out of 5, maybe 3.5.
Yeah, I would give it a 3.5 as well. It was good, but it didn't break the mold outside of that one song.
Yeah.
And I am genuinely glad, though, that you did not come onto this podcast and were like,
if you had caught me right after I watched it, but having like a couple days to think about it, and I'm just like, yeah, it was all right. It was all right. There were some good moments to it.
I just imagine the conversation with your wife. I can't believe what he made me watch. I swear to God.
No, I was pretty chill watching it, so it's all right.
No, that's my wife when I watch movies for Mike White Mark. That's the joke here. Is what are you watching? Oh, it's something from Mike White March. Figures.
Gosh, we're gonna have to start thinking about Mike White March again.
Yeah. Maybe don't do movies about armed Confederate seditious terrorists storming our Capitol, because unlike last year's apocalyptic movies, that would hit way too close to home. I mean, if you want to, go ahead. I guess we're kind of living it at this point. So
yeah,
we can just compare and contrast reality to fiction at this point.
Maybe by March, this will all blow over.
I'll believe that when me shit turns purple and smells like rainbow sherbet. That's what they were saying a year ago. So on that note, let's take a break and we'll play a preview for the next Kulturecast of Disney Channel Original Movie Month.
Ben Cooper has just won a computerized home for his family.
Wait, what?
Complete with a cyber housekeeper programmed by the clever inventor Sarah Barnes. But when Dad starts dating her, emotions run haywire.
I don't want anyone to get the idea that we need a new mom.
And Ben's not the only one threatened.
You can't be our mother, Pat. You're not real. So?
Now this smart family has to pull together to deprogram a very smart house. It's Disney Channel's original movie, Smart House. Tomorrow at 8/7 Central on Disney Channel.
That's right, on the next Kulturecast, we're going to be talking about Smart House, a film about a house that's smart, starring Katie Sagal. I haven't seen it in a long time. It sounds oddly like that episode of The Simpsons featuring Pierce Brosnan.
Exactly. When you said the name of it, I was like, wasn't there a Simpsons episode like that?
Yeah, actually, it's like hilariously close to plot, too. Instead of Pierce Brosnan, it's Katie Sagal, or Katie Sagal.
Have you seen Demon Seed?
Demon Seed?
Yeah.
No.
That is about a house that has a protection system that pretty much comes alive and starts to take over things. I would highly recommend it to you.
Interesting. I'll have to check it out.
Yeah. Julie Christie, Garrett Graham's in there for just a hot second. Fritz Weaver, I think, is the man. And it is the voice of, what's his name? Not Robert Preston. What is that guy's name? Robert Vaughn is the voice of Proteus.
And they have Life at Last, I heard.
Mm-hmm.
Garrett Graham, every time.
Exactly.
Every time. Such a good dude. such an interesting fellow, that one.
Oh, yeah.
So when you're not here joining me to talk about Disney Channel movies of all things, Mike, what is going on over at the award-winning Projection Booth podcast? Other than your bitching new logo, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Well, January is musical month for me as well. So you're doing a lot of musicals over here. I'm, just a copycat, so I'm doing some musicals over there. We're talking about Hair. We're talking about the Blues Brothers. Just put up an episode about Evita. And we've got one coming out about duets with Gwyneth Paltrow and Huey Lewis. That will be wrapping up the month. And then February is pretty much a grab bag of whatever.
And don't forget, on your Evita podcast, you spoke to none other than Sir Tim Rice.
Yes, spoke to Tim Rice for that one. talked to one of the writers behind Hair and talked with Mr. John Landis for the Blues Brothers. So pretty exciting stuff.
Yeah. And I'm on a Bill and Ted episode coming up soon. That's our first joint podcast of all time. So keep your ear to the ground for that one as well.
I'm hoping to get that out early Feb, if not, maybe still in January.
As for me, you can find me on Twitter at Christmas Claus. I'm sticking with it for right now until I decide to change it. You can find this podcast on the internet at Kulturecast.com. You can find Mike's podcast on the internet at ProBoothcast.com, right?
No, that's just my Twitter handle, ProBoothcast. Yeah, ProjectionBoothPodcast.com.
Yeah, you can find him there. And big thanks, as always, to our Patreon supporters and to Mike for joining me on short notice. Always good to have a pinch hitter. He's right here. He's waiting. Yeah. Just in case anything goes wrong. He's waiting. And yeah, make sure to check out the next episode.